So, were you surprised by the reaction?
I did a jean ad. I mean, I love jeans.
Can you say a little bit more?
Like, how hard is it to just say you don't agree with that message and that was not the intent? So if you're not going to do that, of course people are just going to think that that's what you believe.
You've come here like really willing to talk about this whole discourse that doesn't have that much to do with you.
Has she really been willing to talk about it? She seems to be dancing around every question and giving such vague answers. And what do you mean it doesn't really have much to do with her? She's literally the face of the ad. What is wrong with, I'm sorry.
The president tweeted about the jeans ad.
It was surreal.
That smile, she loves it. It was surreal. President Donald Trump likes my jeans ad and thinks I'm hot. So surreal. Like, okay. Hey, what's up you guys, it's me Luke and welcome back to another video, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I post commentary, reaction, and deep dive videos on movies, TV shows, and reality TV with a bit of pop culture sprinkled in between. Alrighty guys, today's video is kind of like a follow-up slash update to the video that I made about Sydney Sweeney a couple months ago when all of the controversy was unfolding because of her ad campaign that she did with American Eagle that had a lot of undertones of eugenics and white supremacy.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very genes.
The liberals saw a white woman with blonde hair and blue eyes and thought she was ushering in the Fourth Reich.
We don't like hot chicks with big boobs.
You know, if that was an ad campaign with a couple of different models of varying appearances and races and backgrounds and all this kind of stuff, it'd be a totally different story, because it's like, we all have beautiful genes, good genes. You know, it'd be like a play on the words in a way that isn't weird.
At the same time that eugenics, fascism, pronatalism, make America hot again, and neo-Nazism are on the rise. All of those things happening at the same time. That's what makes this marketing campaign weird.
But when you're doing this like archetype of what, you know, the male gaze and the incels want women to look like and what the far right want women to look like, and like Aryan races and NAZIs want people to look like, you know, that guy with the stash who like was trying to make people look like that, you know, all that. Yeah, when you do that with the whole good genes, it's a weird look, okay? And let's not pretend that it's not. I had a lot to say in that video, not only about American Eagle's role in this ad and their CEO and the political implications of it, but of course also Sydney Sweeney's involvement in the ad campaign, and linking it back to some other incidences that took place with Sydney Sweeney where her political leanings were put into question. Also got into Sydney Sweeney constantly pandering to the male gaze and contradicting herself on how she wants to be taken seriously, what are the cash grabs that she gets into, the Dr. Squash soap, and a bunch of other stuff. So if you want to check that video out, I'll link it down below. But in this video, we're mainly going to be focusing on this viral interview that Sydney did. There was an article GQ did about Sydney. It's titled Sydney Sweeney on Life at the Center of the Conversation. But I'm more interested in the video interview Sydney did with GQ. It's honestly one of the worst celebrity interviews I've seen in a long time. Sydney was dancing around all the answers to these questions with ease, because there was no point in this interview where the interviewer tried to push back at Sydney or challenge her or get her to further expand on her answers. And there's a lot of hot topics that are discussed in this interview that I want to break down with you guys. Namely, of course, Sydney Sweeney's response to the American Eagle ad, her response to Donald Trump liking the ad and liking her, where she stands on keeping her personal life private and politics. Shocker, she's still vague, even though we literally have proof that she's MAGA. Her going back to set for Euphoria, which will lead us into talking about Zendaya's issues with Sydney. Her dating life since ending her engagement. She claims to be single when she's been paparazzied at the wazoo with scum of the earth Scooter Braun. And she also addresses whether or not she cares if people stop seeing her movies because they don't like her. And I do have to mention that this interview is part of like a big promotional cycle that Sydney's doing at the moment for this film that she did called Christy, which is a biopic about an American boxer who was in an abusive relationship where she almost died at the hands of her husband and managed to get out of that toxic relationship and create strides in her profession and also come out and live her truth as a lesbian. And my first video I titled Sydney Sweeney is ruining her career, and lo and behold, she kind of did ruin her career and reputation, because her new movie Christy that came out, which would appeal to a more liberal audience, is completely flopping at the box office. And that's what happens when you pander to the far right-wing white supremacist MAGAs. Like, what did you expect, Sydney? They're not going to go to the cinema and buy a ticket to your movie about a masculine lesbian boxer, are they now? You can't have it both ways, okay? You reap what you sow. And this is just going to keep happening, because I, for one, have enjoyed a couple of Sydney Sweeney's performances. I loved Immaculate, which is a horror movie that she starred in and she produced, and I really enjoyed did I. Thought her performance was amazing. You know, Anyone But You wasn't that great. She's not the best comedic actress, but I digress. But like now, I don't want to see her on my screen. Don't get me started on how disappointed I am to find out that she's in the new Devil Wears Prada movie. And there's a new movie that she has coming out with Amanda Seyfried called The Housemaid. That looks like it's up my alley. That looks enjoyable, but I will not be going to watch it. I've got Sydney Sweeney fatigue. I don't want to see her on my screen. Her views and her behaviors disgust me, so I'm boycotting anything that she's in. Except Euphoria, I do have to make an exception for that. But anyway, enough yapping from me. Without further ado, let's get into it because I'm about to dive into one of the worst interviews I've ever had the displeasure of witnessing.
I mean, Christy is a story about specifically like homophobia and domestic violence.
I actually have more in common with her than I realized. She is fighting a fight in her home life, and she's also fighting a fight in the public. And I think that for me, I find myself in a lot of battles, both in front and not in front of the world. So I definitely can relate.
Oh yeah, getting beat up by your husband, being a woman in a male-dominated field, dealing with sexism, and having to hide your true identity because of homophobia in the public eye is the same thing as dealing with backlash from your racist ad because you chose to do it and then not speak out against it. Yeah, that's the same, right? Which most of your fans right now, Sydney, would be homophobic and probably abusive, or at the very least misogynistic, let's be real.
I always speak out about something that is important to me, and for me to speak out, I use art. And I think that through my characters in my movies, it's a way for me to be able to do my part that I can and spread awareness in different ways through my characters.
She's really gunning for that Oscar. She's really trying to be taken seriously as a serious actress, but this is the same actress who produced and starred in a rom-com where her and her co-star had a fake flirty relationship and made everyone think that they had an affair just to promote their movie, which led to both of their relationships ending. You were literally rage baiting to sell your movie at the box office. But now when you try to get taken seriously and do a movie that could get you an Oscar, the intended audience isn't showing up because of your political views, behaviors, and leanings, and now they want nothing to do with you, and your movie flops at the box office. But all of a sudden it's not about numbers. But before you were gunning for numbers, so let's make it make sense.
We should talk about Cassie. You got back together with Cassie.
Cassie and the whole world of Euphoria is now 5 years ahead. So all the characters are living in the real world. They're dealing with very real world life problems. Cassie's just so much fun. She's so crazy. And I don't know if I can implement any of my own knowledge or life experiences to Cassie because she's just so on her own plane and in her own world and thinks completely differently. And
speaking of Euphoria, I did love Euphoria when it was coming out. Obviously, there's a much bigger conversation to be had about Euphoria and why it's taken so long for the new season to come out and all of that. I am planning on doing a recap series about the first 2 seasons. I don't know if I'm gonna do like one video for the first season, one for the second, or just all up, but like I do want to do that before the next season comes out because I think that would be a really fun video to make. But besides the point, I did want to mention that there are a lot of reports or rumors. I'm not sure how accurate they are. They're from like Page 6, which is not usually the most reputable source, that Zendaya is refusing to do any press with Sydney Sweeney. And can we be surprised? You know, Zendaya has made it pretty clear where she stands politically. She's a liberal, and with the way that Sydney's behaving, she's like, damn, I don't want anything to do with you in the press. And honestly, I'm not surprised. Euphoria is a show where the 2 lead characters are in a lesbian relationship with a black woman and a trans woman. So you can see how that doesn't exactly align with the things that Sydney Sweeney's been doing lately. And that's the thing now, with Sydney Sweeney being attached to different projects is going to affect other people. When the American Eagle ad came out and all that controversy was happening, she had a movie coming out called Americana that was also starring Halsey, and people were boycotting the movie, not wanting to go, and that negatively affects Halsey, the director, everyone who's worked on that movie, just because of Sydney Sweeney's actions. And that could make people not want to work with her in the future. Therefore, Sydney's actions and beliefs are directly affecting her career and her reputation, ruining her reputation and her career.
You have become very swept up in politics, and so I wondered if that has surprised you as you put your ideas and yourself into art, not commentary.
I've always believed that I'm not here to tell people what to think. I'm just here to kind of open their eyes to different ideas.
What are you opening people's eyes to? Eugenics? Is that what you're opening people's eyes to, Sydney? What are you talking about? She's talking about her art, but at the same time, like, you are a public figure. It's not just your movies that is going out to the public, that people are consuming, that is sending a message. It's everything you do. That's the price you pay for being a public figure. It's what you post on your social media. It's what you say in your interviews. It's what movies you choose to do. It's what you do on press. It's what ads you choose to do. It's all the same. She's trying to like separate it by saying, oh, I like speak speak through my art. I send my message through my art. Unfortunately, that's not all that it is. Anywhere where you're putting yourself out there as a public figure, people are going to consume that. And you can't separate it from the art. You just can't. If anything, this is worse because your art is you playing a character. This is you. You in the ad, that's you. What you say in this interview, that's you.
And so I think that's why I gravitate towards characters and stories that are complicated and are maybe morally questionable.
Girl, the only one who's morally questionable is you.
I think a lot of people feel like it's better for art if artists can keep themselves a little bit separate from politics.
Yeah.
I disagree. I really do. In this day and age, I'm sorry, as a celebrity and public figure, it's not that. No one's asking you to solve world hunger, okay? You're not Elon Musk about to become the first trillionaire who can actually do that. All people are asking you to do is just use your voice, the voice that you have. Just share what your beliefs are and spread awareness about things that you care about if you're a human being with empathy. Like, I don't think it's that hard. And you know what's funny is it's always the celebrities who are so obviously conservative or right-wing or MAGA. I mean, these are all synonyms essentially. It's always these celebrities who want to be silent about politics. It's always these celebrities who don't see the point in needing to talk about politics and just want to focus on their art. You never have that issue with liberal celebrities, do you? And Sydney can be as vague as she wants, but it's been reported on since 2024 that she's registered as a Republican in her home state. So call a spade, fork found in kitchen. Just say what you are and stand 10 toes down on it. On my last video on Sydney Sweeney, we spoke a lot about her MAGA family, and I actually saw that her brother shared his promotion certificate from the US Air Force saying, it's because I got them good genes. So it's all just a joke to her and her family, clearly.
I've never talked about my personal life.
I know. A big thing that happened to you this year is that you ended your engagement, and I got push notifications about it. I was single. Are you single?
I'm single.
Okay, you're single.
The lies that she's telling. How are you single? You literally get paparazzi with Scooter Braun all the time. You got paparazzi kissing him in Central Park just the other day. And all that does is add fuel to the fire because you are literally dating one of the most hated men by liberal women in America, because lest we forget everything that Scooter Braun did to Taylor Swift by buying the master recordings to her first 6 albums against her will. You say you care about art, Sydney, and women's art? Well, why are you dating a man who just bought another woman's art against her will at the highest bidding? Essentially stole her life's work. Why would you want anything to do with him?
I don't think I'm looking for a man right now. What I've learned this year is that I have a really, really amazing group of girlfriends, and I am strong and independent, and that I'm gonna be okay.
Oh my god, she's so a girl who's gonna be okay. With her hair tucked in her leather jacket, and she's just like all messy and tousled. Like, she's a girl who's gonna be okay for sure. She's got her besties and she's independent. That's all she needs. That's her version of feminism right there.
You are making Anyone But You, and there's sort of, what do we call it, like a game almost with sort of letting rumors build about you and Glenn, and we all now know that was a projection, let's say, on our part.
No, it wasn't. This interviewer is giving her so much grace, and for what? She's like eating the farts out of her ass. Like, Glenn, who I like, but come on, Glenn, what you and Sydney did during the promotional period of Anyone But You was gross. Like, at the end of the day, actors having chemistry and kissing or whatever on camera, that's one thing because you're acting, you're the characters. But when you're doing the promotional tour, why do you need to have this flirty, will they, won't they banter with your co-star when you are both in relationships? If you're not in relationships, that's fine. But like, Sydney, shortly after that, ended her engagement with her partner. And then Glenn, fiance at the time, girlfriend, I don't really know. She's gone on a podcast recently and shared her story that she was really hurt by what Glenn and Sydney were doing, and she was finding out about it while other people were finding out about it on the media because she was not allowed to be on set or go near the set. She was so hurt and betrayed because she wanted to be with her partner and she was going to get a work visa to move to Australia to be able to do that, and he told her not to. So she literally went all the way to Australia to break up with him in person because of what he did. What you guys did was gross. And it's not us who was projecting or coming up with our own assumptions. It's literally based on what you showed people. And it worked because the movie did well.
The professional benefits for me and being private is for my own just health and sanity. If I let everybody in all the time, I have nothing for myself.
Okay, but so you're never tempted to just like open your notes app and say, this is what I really think and this is who I am and this is what's going on in my life, and like stop guessing and projecting?
I mean, I'll vent to my girlfriends, but
Okay.
other than that, no.
No.
I mean, at the end of the day, with this whole like, oh, she's so private, she doesn't share her personal life, people are just going to think what they want to think. People are thinking what they think because of the evidence that you present them. If someone shows you who they are, you believe them.
That's honestly really impressive. Like,
I know who I am.
right.
I know what I value. I know I'm just excited to see what happens next. And so I don't really let other people define who I am.
The vagueness from her icon. It's just like these little vague, like little quotes that you would like see with a sunset in the background that you're posting on your Facebook account.
I'm happy to hear that. I love secondhand concern for you lately.
Thank you.
God, what is this freaking interview?
We're sort of talking around this American Eagle ad right now, and maybe we should just talk about it. So, were you surprised by the reaction?
I did a jean ad. The reaction definitely was a surprise, but it was, I love jeans. All I wear are jeans. I'm literally in jeans and a t-shirt like every day of my life.
Jeans are uncontroversial. Jeans are awesome.
She says that she's not in jeans and a t-shirt, but anyway. Is she under lock and key in her contract? Is that why she is so vague or just saying such stupid statements? Like, she asks you a question if you were surprised, and instead of saying yes or no, you just say, I did a jean ad. I love jeans. Like, it's just going back to the same talking points.
I think I know how you're going to answer this, but I'm going to ask anyway. I mean, the president tweeted about the jeans ad.
It's so funny when your dictator of a president tweets about your white supremacist jeans ad.
That just seems to me like a very crazy moment for anyone. And I wondered what that was like.
It was surreal.
It was surreal.
Mm-hmm.
That smile, she loves it. It was surreal. It was surreal. President Donald Trump likes my jeans ad and thinks I'm hot. So surreal. Like, okay. Like, at this point, just say you're MAGA and move on with it. Donald Trump has literally tweeted that you're a registered Republican. Like, it's out there. If you guys didn't see Donald Trump's tweet that Sydney thinks is so surreal, he said, Sydney Sweeney, a registered Republican, so he obviously has that information, Sydney, so it's out there anyway, has the hottest ad out there. It's for American Eagle, and the jeans are flying off the shelves. Go get him, Sydney. On the other side of the ledger, Jaguar did a stupid and seriously woke advertisement that is a total disaster. The CEO just resigned in disgrace, and the company is in absolute turmoil. Who wants to buy a Jaguar after looking at that disgraceful ad? Shouldn't they have learned a lesson from Bud Light, which went woke and essentially destroyed in a short campaign the company? The market cap destruction has been unprecedented, with billions of dollars so foolishly lost. Or just look at the woke singer Taylor Swift. Ever since I alerted the world as to what she was by saying the truth that I can't stand her, hate, she was booed out of the Super Bowl and became no longer hot. The tide has seriously turned. Being woke is for losers. Being Republican is what you want to be. Thank you for your attention on this matter. I cannot believe this is America's president. I'm laughing because it's so freaking ridiculous. But yeah, that's your man, Sydney, and you stick beside him.
It would be totally human. I would probably feel like thankful that somebody had my back in public. Conveniently, some very powerful people had my back in public. And I wondered if you felt that way.
It's not that that feeling I didn't have that feeling, but I wasn't thinking of it like that, or like of any of it. I kind of just put my phone away.
What? Do you feel good that the president backed you up? He's powerful and he's like got you behind your back. Like, what is this interviewer trying to do? Is she trying to like be like, is this what you think? Is this the answer? Or is this what she actually believes? I don't know what the hell is going on here. It's such a mess of an interview. I can't.
You've made a really good case for keeping your thoughts and your life separate from that work. But the risk is that, there's a chance that somebody will get some idea about what you think about certain issues and feel like, I don't want to see Christy because of that. Like, do you worry about that?
No.
Girl, well, you should worry because your movie flopped. And biopics normally do really well. If it wasn't for Sydney and all this mess, there's something I would have loved to watch. Something like I, Tonya. Like, I love that movie. Like, Erin Brockovich. Like, all these, like, biopics about powerful, strong women. Like, the target audience for that not want to watch that. But the reason they don't is because of everything that you said and done. Liberals don't like you anymore, so they don't want to watch your movies. And your little MAGA fans are sexist and homophobic, so why the hell would they want to watch your movie about a lesbian boxer? Make it make sense.
If somebody is closed off because of something they read online to a powerful story like Christy, I hope something else can open their eyes to being open to art and being open to learning. And I'm not gonna be affected by that.
Yeah.
They're not turned off because of the story. They're turned off because of you, the actress portraying the story.
You've come here like really willing to talk about this whole discourse that doesn't have that much to do with you, and I'm grateful for that.
Has she really been willing to talk about it? She seems to be dancing around every question and giving such vague answers. And what do you mean it doesn't really have much to do with her? She's literally the face of the ad. What is wrong with... I'm sorry, I don't know who this woman is, but she needs to look into a different profession. I don't think journalism is for her.
Is there something that you want to say about the ad itself? The Sydney Sweeney has great genes. Do you have?
The ad spoke for itself.
You think the ad spoke for itself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Sydney Sweeney has great genes. And in the ad, she's talking about her blue eyes and her blonde hair and all this kind of stuff. Like the Aryan race that the guy with the mustache used to want, of everyone being white with blonde hair and blue eyes. In which there's inherently nothing wrong with being someone who is white with blonde hair and blue eyes. But when you're talking about genes, genetics, doing the double entendre in today's political climate, specifically in the US, and when you're putting someone who fits that idea and image of what white supremacists think the pinnacle of a human being is, on the face of this genes ad campaign with genes and genetics, eugenics, like, it's not that hard to make those leaps. Her saying the ad spoke for itself, to me, just further emphasizes that she believes in the message behind the ad. Also, with regards to the American Eagle ad, all they had to say on the matter was, Sydney Sweeney has great genes, is and always has been about the genes. Then why'd you spell it Genes? We're not stupid. Her genes, her story. We'll continue to celebrate how everyone wears their American Eagle genes with confidence their way. Great genes look good on everyone. Well, how about you show different people in the ad then? Shout out to Gap, actually, who did a jeans ad campaign with Cat's Eye. We're seeing gorgeous women of different races looking amazing in their jeans, and it actually did a lot better. It got 50 million views on YouTube as opposed to the American Eagle 10 million views. So there you go. You don't need to pander to Republicans to get the clicks and the numbers. The liberals got your back if you got theirs.
And the criticism of the content, which was basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like, white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like, that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. And since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
Wow. The interviewer literally set it up for her. She literally, like, Sydney could have just been like, no, that was not the intention behind the ad. I'm surprised that people thought that. That's not something I believe in. That's not something I stand for. She literally teed it all up for you there. And you, instead of responding to that or answering that, you just say, I think when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will know. That essentially just says, oh, you don't care about that. It upset a lot of people. It caused a lot of distressing conversations. It put a highlight on the risk that minorities have in your country. But instead of addressing that, you just say basically that you don't care. Like, how hard is it to just say you don't agree with that message and that was not the intent behind the ad? Like it's really not that hard. So if you're not going to do that, of course people are just going to think that that's what you believe.
I think that as time goes on, people will see that I'm way more aware of things than people think.
Can you say a little bit more?
I mean, if I say it, then I like to let the art speak for itself. I think that's where it's fun.
Yeah, girl, we know. We know that you're aware of what that jeans ad campaign meant and the message that it was sending. That's the problem. That's the issue, is that you're not speaking up about it. She just keeps focusing on the art. Nobody's having issues with the movies that you're making, the roles you're taking. The issues are with the things that you're doing outside of that, the stuff you're saying in these shitty-ass interviews, the ad campaigns that you're doing, sending these disgusting messages, the political rhetoric that you have, yet you don't want to take ownership for. She is honestly a PR agent's wet dream, though, because the way she manages to not answer a single question is astounding.
Okay, but you know that you are giving us permission to keep projecting a little bit. Like, we're gonna keep taking what you do and like putting it up on our board of like, what does Sydney think?
I can't wait to see what the board says.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, sometimes I do question if she rage baits, if she purposely does crazy shit and then pulls back and doesn't speak on it or doesn't address it because it keeps her name in the public. I mean, there are people who think good press or bad press doesn't matter as long as people are talking about you. You're famous either way. So who knows? Maybe that's what she's doing. Maybe that's her stance on things. But yeah, essentially my thoughts are Sydney Sweeney has not changed. She believes what she believes, but she doesn't want to own it. You know, I disagree with conservatives and right-wing people and MAGAs, but like at least own it. That's who you are. But she doesn't want to. She stands 10 toes down on what she did. She still thinks it's about the genes, but then she at the same time says, I know a lot more than people think. So it's like she wants to play dumb, but then she wants to act like she's smart. This career is slowly but surely swirling down the toilet, and the box office results from her latest movie, Christie, are a prime example of that. She wants to make artsy films films that liberals will enjoy, but then she's pandering to conservatives who won't enjoy those films because they disagree with the core parts of those films, aka a woman being in a male-dominated field because most of them are misogynistic, a lesbian because most of them are homophobic. Like, also, you're not being sexualized in the way you normally are in that movie, so the men don't care about that either. Like, you're pandering to that audience who's not going to buy the tickets to your movies, so you're going to have to still keep doing these shitty ads where you sell your bath water to incels. And that's on you. You're ruining your reputation and your career, Sydney Sweeney. Honestly, you need to fire your team and hire a new one because you have moderate talent and you could have a successful, long-lasting acting career, but you're shooting yourself in the foot with everything you're doing. I'm calling it now. In a couple years, she's going to fade into irrelevancy because the people that she's pandering to aren't going to watch her movies. And then what's she going to do? Just be doing Lifetime movies and continuing to promote dumbass shit on her Instagram. But anyway, guys, I'm getting heated, so now's the time where I'm going to stop. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below your thoughts. And if you have not already, subscribe and turn on the post notifications bell so that you don't miss another video from me. And thank you so much for watching this video. I hope to see my next one, and as always, I hope that you have a great day or night wherever you're on the world. Bye.